Hello, Eden Hope Academy Leadership Facilitators. You are going to transform these children's lives this year, and I am so excited to meet you. I'm so excited to work alongside you. I'm so excited to help you to bring these children to this next level of leadership and understanding. Now, many of these children would never get this leadership training, or they may get it, but much later in their lives. Much of the ways that we're teaching our children is brought directly from General Electric's Six Sigma program. And this program is their leadership training course that they give to their executives. And what they're doing in the program, what their thought process is they want to train not only leaders, but participants who can discuss a problem and take down the problem to the essence of it, and then find a next level understanding so that they can solve it in an out-of-the-box manner. This is something that people wait until they're in their 40s to learn. And you, as a facilitator at Eden Hope Academy, are teaching sometimes 4-year-olds to do this, and they can do it. It's pretty amazing. So you're going to explain this to them first. You're going to say that this is a leadership class. This is where they're going to learn to guide a discussion so that the most value can be derived from that discussion. And that this is a very serious class, and you expect them to act fairly seriously in it. Every other class they'll be able to chat, every other class they'll be able to goof off a little bit, but this one is really an adult class. This is one that we want the students to really participate in a higher level. And I understand you're working with 4-year-olds, but they do rise up to the occasion, so just watch, because it's going to be amazing. So you're going to explain to them that the first part of this class is speaking to a group. And so each child will be given the opportunity to speak in front of their class about one point in history. It is only about our timeline cards, the Eden Hope Academy timeline cards in leadership class. There are no toys brought in, no ancillary things brought in. It is just about the timeline cards. So the student will stand up, one student will be asked to stand up to present, and they will say something about their timeline card. Now, we always use good decorum in leadership training. The reason that we do this is because we're making sure that all opinions are valued. This is something that's really gone downhill in our country, and we want the Eden Hope Academy students to be able to do it well. So the student will stand up and will say, "Hello, greetings class," or "greetings to you," or something pleasant. "Hello class. I'm going to be speaking to you about Abram today." And then they'll say 1 or 2 key facts about Abram. They will not have this written down on a sheet of paper and read it. There are very few opportunities in life to have a written speech. This is not a speech class. This is not about writing it down. This is about speaking clearly and leading. A good leader would never read a prepared speech in front of their participants. So they will present, they will say, it could be like for a 4-year-old, they could say, "I learned about Abram. He walked from Goshen all the way to Egypt and back to Canaan." That could be it. That's okay. An older child, I would want them to talk about maybe Abram's personality. I would want them to maybe talk about more of his journey. But that for just this first week or the first couple weeks, a very short discussion or a very short leadership presentation is fine. After they finish their presentation, then they say, "Does anyone have any questions or comments?" So when you're discussing this with your class, you will say, what you're going to say first is, "Thank you for presenting. That was good information. I appreciate what you said." They're going to say something complimentary. And this is very important because it is acknowledging the person for what they've done. And so then they will say what they're thinking. So they might say, "Thank you for that presentation, Adam. What I learned about Abram was that his nephew Lot and he had too many sheep, and Abram was told to let Lot decide, or Abram decided to let Lot decide which land to take, and Lot took the nicer piece of land. And I think that that could mean that Abram was a generous person, or Abram followed God more than he wanted land, or something like that. So at that point, the person who's presenting has become the leader of the round table. So they will say so Adam will say to say Molly, he'll say, Molly, that's a really good point. Does anyone want to add on to Molly's point? And then he'll wait a second. They may or may not, especially those first few weeks. And then say, did anyone learn anything more about Abram? So then maybe Paul will say, Molly and Adam, that was good. They don't have to go through every one, but they need to say something complimentary to one of the last speakers. And then he may say something completely different about Abram. And the discussion goes on like that. For this first week, and I'll go through this with you every week, but for this first week, what I really want you to focus on is that students will stand up. Remember, they might not all stand up every week. Do not ever assign cards for the next week, even if moms beg you to. That's a big no. And the reason is that they'll only do those cards, or they won't do any cards the other week. So don't do that. Have everyone come in, because we want that round table discussion. That's the key. So for this week, we're going to explain that they are leaders, explain that the participants are just as important as the leaders, and the participants are trying to find the key aspects to each event so that they can draw higher level conclusions. And then 3, we want that compliment from each person. And even if you just do 3 cards this week and you just work on the compliments, that is great. Make sure you leave time for Link It for this week, because getting Link It started right from the get-go is very important. And I have already posted one Link It on Facebook Live, but I'll probably do another one with Anna in just a few minutes. Remember, what you are doing is not easy, but it is something that these children will incorporate into their lives, and they will be able to use to discern and to lead for the rest of their lives. What you're doing is important. And thank you.